mi nombre es Ricardo. Esta noche vamos a hacer una presentación acerca de vinos acá en la Universidad de Nueva York, en Guayú. Será un gusto para mí hablar acerca de vinos. Mi presentación la he dividido en 7 partes. Como ustedes pueden ver, puedes acercar. Voy a explicar a los estudiantes de la Universidad de Nueva York acerca de los vinos, la clasificación de los vinos y la manera como lo prueben. Espero que les agrade. Vamos. Good evening, everyone. I would like to thank you, Professor Nepos and Professor Gold, for this presentation. So, I will start to say, you can follow, everyone get a handshake, you can follow me. What knowledge has become important tool in every aspect of the hospitality industry. Let's start with the first point. Wine is the fermenting of the grape juice. It's a plain explanation. You don't have to go crazy to tell to customer or anyone. Wine is the fermenting of the grape juice. There is a formula for fermentation. It's sugar plus yeast equal alcohol and carbon dioxide. Second point, type of wine. There is 4 different types of wine. The first one is a plain still wine. Has to be 8 to 15%. Still wine can be white, red, or rosé. Second is sparkling wine. I would like to emphasize, only the wine made in the Champagne regions can be called champagne. Beside the champagne, there is a sparkling wine. Even though in France, beside the Champagne region, they call crémant. They can, because on the law, the French regulations say only the wine or the sparkling wine made in the Champagne region can be called champagne. As well as cognac is a brandy made with cognac, but cognac is just brandy. But France, Spain, they cannot call it brandy. They can call it's un brandy. It's a brandy, but they cannot call cognac. But at the end or at the same. Is the difference is the name, the pronunciations.
So just to clarify on the champagne front, so you see a lot of American champagne, and it's not, it's sparkling wine. But those are the rules of the country. Whatever he's referring to, Spain or France, those are the rules of the country. And what they do is they're honoring, a lot of this is French tradition, they're honoring the French being who they are, and Americans being who we are. Sometimes we didn't get along. It's like, we're going to call it champagne. But their laws say you can't do that, and what we actually did is ignore it. As relations get better, and consideration of their proprietary nature, in other words, we own this, we've actually backed off from it. But there's no particular law or requirement in America that says you can't call sparkling wine in America champagne.
It's the same with Chablis. Chablis is from Burgundy. They can call
Right.
Chablis only the Burgundy regions. But many Americans, when I've been in California, they say, this is Chablis. I explain,
Right.
this is cannot be Chablis.
So you also will have some cognacs in America, and they really shouldn't use that title either. So in essence, it's a courtesy, a deference to the homeland, which in every single one of these cases is France. Okay.
The next is fortified wine. Like a port, Jerez, cherry, or desert wine like Sauternes. The way they make the fortified wine, they add, after finish the fermentation, they stop the fermentation and they add brandy to increase the alcohol level. It's between 17 to 22.
Ricardo,
Pardon.
sorry, if you have they could add other spirit, like what else could they add? Besides brandy, what else could they add?
Yeah, well, it could be brandy,
Because I don't-
Jerez,
oh.
cherry, Madeira.
Well, most of them are brandy, right?
Yeah, most of them are brandy, port, Jerez, cherry, or Madeira. The next type of wine is vermouth. Vermouth has been add, the difference between on port they add brandy, and vermouth they add herbs and spices. The alcohol level is lower than port. It's 16 to 22% alcohol. The next point is going to be testing wine. There are many books. I have in the wine industry for 20 years. I have different professors. Rarely, one professor. But the most simple, I will say, wine can be broken down. It can be broken down in four simple steps. First is the colors. The best way to get an idea about the wine is to look in front of a white paper or white background, white napkins or tablecloth. And you see it could be red, ruby, brick red. The second one is
Okay, so the part of the test there is when you see the color, you actually want to see through the wine to the paper. When you do, you know there's enough clarity in the wine that it's ready to drink. So can you see through that one?
Yes, I do.
Okay, so that wine, lucky for us, is ready to drink.
That's good.
All right, so that's part two of that test, is to see the color and actual
Colors tell a
availability.
lot about wine. Colors tell a lot about wine. Second one is swerve. Sorry, the pronunciation. Why we swerve the wine? To allow to release aromas. There is one compound, the wine. There is a compound. This compound helps to increase the flavor of the aroma. When the esters is not correct or there is not enough ester, the wine is flabby or is dull. Flabby dull means it's not ready to drink. Next step, smell. For many wine connoisseurs, for many master sommeliers, this is the most important step. So you stick your nose into the glass and take a deep whiff. And think about the aroma. Let me explain you this part. Aroma is also called nose or bouquet. There is, I know, other sommeliers they say aroma is different than bouquet and nose is different to bouquet. No, when you want to enjoy wine, the less thing you want to complicate with fancy words, fancy. Aroma, bouquet, and nose are the same. I get the wine woody, the aroma, means before to buy this wine, I researched this, spent 12 months in oak. That's why I get the woody. Then I get smoky flavors, means come from the wood, the barrels that spend the wine. In other wine, for example, Tempranillo from Spain, there is more fruity because the grape is different. It's Tempranillo, and most of Bordeaux is Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Merlot. The last one is the test.
That's cheating.
You can follow me your paper. When you take a small sip of wine and take a little air. Why to take a little air? It's a technique. The arrest the wine and settle the flavor. French do, Italian do well. American, some of them they don't do, but I do because I believe air will help to develop the aromas. The next, grapes. I named a few names, the most famous, in red and white. Let's start with the white. Riesling, or like a German called Riesling. The most characteristic of this grape is off-dry. What's the meaning off-dry? When you go to the wine store, they say, you want a wine off-dry, but sometimes you don't know the meaning. Off-dry means slightly sweet. The characteristic of the Riesling is slightly sweet. Most Germans, when I talk with my customers, say, no, don't Riesling, Riesling is sweet. Riesling I not drink with my desserts. It's partially true, but it's the best grape from Germany. It's not my favorite grape, it's not the best grape in the world. But you have Asian food, Thai food, Vietnamese food, you can enjoy with a bottle of Riesling. Second grape, Sauvignon Blanc. The most characteristic of this grape is citrusy, medium body, and tropical fruit. Where you find Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc, the best is Bordeaux, California, Sonoma, Mendocino. Riesling, Sauvignon Blanc is a medium body. It goes well with fish. Excellent. Sole, double sole, salmon, or tuna. Next one, Chardonnay. I believe is the king of the white grapes. It can grow in anywhere. Most characteristics, let's explain. There is a American Chardonnay, California, and there is a France Chardonnay and Burgundy. The Burgundy tend to be more minerality, more medium body. And the French, they no push up. They don't spend tying up. They put in standing stills, that's where they count the minerality. Robert Mondavi say Chardonnay desert oak. And he created a new generation in the 16 and 17. They start to put his Chardonnay in barrels wine. That's what created the battery aromas. Or the malolactic fermentation, the wine connoisseur called malolactic fermentation, or means second fermentation. I prefer the Chardonnay from France, but don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean that I don't like Chardonnay from California. red wines. And Chardonnay full body. You can enjoy Chardonnay with fish, with mushroom, or fish with any heavy sauce. Let's start with the king of the grape, Cabernet Sauvignon. Powerful, black currant, raisin, high alcohol, aggressive. They have many names. What I do recommend with Cabernet Sauvignon is to, if you want to have a dinner at 8 p.m., open at 7. Or you have the can at home, the can 20 minutes before. Because
So the word he's using is decant, which means
decanter.
pouring it into a decanter to let it breathe,
Because it's,
therefore letting its characteristics shine through.
their tannins are harsh, they're strong tannin. You cannot open and just drink. It's gonna be too aggressive in the mouth. Too many tannins, too many alcohol. Of course, Cabernet Sauvignon is full body. Next grape, Merlot. Originally in France. Originally in the right bank of Bordeaux. Merlot grow excellent in California. Merlot, the most characteristic of Merlot is earthy, smooth. It's the opposite of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's more smooth, more earthy. The fruit they call black currant fruit, they call raisin fruit, pepper fruit, depend the producers. Like I say, in America there is more peppery, but in France it's more earthy, more mushroom. The place where the grape grow, that is important on the flavor of the wine. The last one, Pinot Noir. The best Pinot Noir you can find is Burgundy, France. Pinot Noir is light body, silky, and smoky. You can enjoy fish with Pinot Noir. Of course, you can have salmon with Pinot Noir. It goes well, perfect.
So, Ricardo listed 6 grapes here. There's probably hundreds of
Of course.
grapes around the world. These 6 grapes represent 90% of all the wine made in the world. So if you're going to go far in a field, like Syrahs or Malbecs or whatever, you have to realize that if you're one of 100 restaurants in your neighborhood, and you know that 90% of the people are used to 6 products, you're going out of the box. It's your choice, but you're going out of the box if you're picking other wines. These are the granddaddies of wine, grapes, throughout.
The next point is wine serving temperature. On your paper you have the numbers, or you can chill the wine, the time before you serve you can chill the wine. So I just, for my own experience, I like to say a couple of things. One of the biggest complaints in the restaurant wine service is the wine is too cold or the red wine are served too warm. I strongly recommend chill the wine, depends what kind of wine. And the time do before you wanna eat, drink, open the wine, you wanna enjoy the wine. Not too cold for white, not too cold for red. Some customers like red in room temperature. I respect that. I like the wine in room temperature. I can assure you that you will enjoy the wine more if you follow the right temperature for you serving the wine.
So I just looking at all these temperatures across the board, and I made a quick correlation. You're running a restaurant, you want it to be warm and cozy, no pun intended. You literally want it to be warm. It's gonna be what, 68 to 72 degrees. If it's really warm, it might even be a little warmer than that. What's the highest temperature here?
65.
So what does that mean? You gotta have everything in some sort of chiller, cooler, refrigerator throughout. Because your ambient temperature is 10 degrees or better warmer. Okay.
The next point is,
And that's a very common overlooked aspect. So that's why he mentioned it tonight.
because many customers return the wine, they say, can't drink the wine, it's too cold. So open a new wine, I have many complaints about that. Not only here in other restaurants where I used to work. Food and wine pairing. When you pairing wine and food, many books brought difference, many people say difference. Why? In my opinion, that's two rules is the best word. First, complement. Spicy food, it could be Asian food, with spicy wines, like Gewürztraminer. Gewürztraminer is a grape from Germany. It's kind of spicy. It's not well known. It's grown in Germany and Austria. The bottle is around $15 to $20. But one is one of the best match for spicy food. And the second one is Syrah. It could be Syrah from France or it could be Shiraz, what they call in Australia, they call Shiraz. Second, earthy food with earthy wines. You got a steak with mushrooms, goes well with merlots. Fat food with wine with tannins, fat and heavy food. Pork chop, lamb chop, veal chop, or a steak with Cabernet Sauvignon. It could be California Martinelli Cabernet Sauvignon, Robert Mondavi Cabernet Sauvignon, or you want to go more fancy, you can one from Bordeaux, one Cabernet from Sauvignon.
Yeah, excuse me, Ricardo, we have a question.
Yes.
For the spicy food and spicy wine, these are type of grapes? Are they red grapes or white
Yeah.
grapes? Syrah and...
Syrah and Gewürztraminer are the most characteristic. These grapes are spicy.
Are they red or white?
or-
Gewürztraminer is white.
White?
Syrah is red.
Thank you.
You're welcome. The second, contrast. Oily food with high acidity wine. For example, salmon or tuna with Sauvignon Blanc or Pinot Noir. Pinot Noir, I do recommend, there is excellent in Oregon. There is something going on with the Pinot Noir in Oregon. They're getting excellent wines, excellent Pinot Noir. You know that, right? Of course. Next. Sweet fruit wines with spicy food. What we call sweet fruit wines. Besides the Riesling, it could be less harvest California, less harvest Robert Mondavi. They add sugar, or could be Sauternes. Sauterne is a wine from the region of Sauterne in Bordeaux. There is one of the best sweet wine in the world.
So the sweet fruity wines is actually gonna mellow out the spicy flavor? Is that
Yes.
the idea? Okay.
Next, full body wine with heavy and greasy food. This is close related to the before. Steak, pork, lamb, beef, wheat, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, Sangiovese is a good choice. Sangiovese is a grape from Italy and from the region of Tuscany. Next, the wine list. The wine list is an important tool for any restaurant. More of the profit of the restaurant come from the liquors. Yesterday I was talking with my owner, the restaurant. She said, I'm not making good money with food. I make more money selling wine, selling liquors. He told something, if I create a wine bar, I will make more money than restaurant, than fine dining restaurant, with less stress, less people. And that's true. In the book of Walker, there is a paragraph. They say most of the profit fine dining restaurant come from the liquors. So there is 2 casual restaurants. I have a menu from a casual restaurant. The wine list, there is only 2 pages.
You can pass that around.
That's casual. Is there an average price in there that you?
Yes, Scott. The average price is the entry is $40, $30. The wine is related to $30, $40. Because on casual restaurant, most people have a budget. They cannot go wrong. I used to work at a casual restaurant. That was the get a menu. They said, listen, I can afford to buy wine at $40. I can don't go crazy. So the people who wants to create a casual restaurant, who want to open the wine restaurant or be a partner of a casual restaurant, is what I do recommend is keep it short. Don't go crazy, don't buy a lot of wines because your customers is not gonna buy this wine. A casual restaurant, there go people who the income is not too high.
Okay, so this menu, Mesa Grill, you gotta assume the entree is about $20 to $25, and there's a wide range here. It's got the high end, it's got a bottle of wine here for $475.
Yeah, that's the top.
But-
But most people, they don't buy this wine.
Right, no, of course not. But in just about every category, in the whites and the Riesling, he's got so it's $20 to $25. In the whites Riesling, he's got a $25 bottle of wine. In the white Sauvignon Blanc, he's got a $28 bottle of wine. In the white Chardonnay is usually a little expensive, and it's actually a local wine, so there's a value to that. It's a North Fork of Long Island wine that's $34. It's a little bit more pricey, but you're not breaking the bank relative to your $25 entree. He's got a Pinot Noir at $31, and a Zinfandel at $38, and then a Merlot at $28. So if you're having a $25 entree experience, on the low end, mind you, there's at least one wine across the board that's almost exactly the same price as the entree. And then the range is